Sunny's dumb. Certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense.
I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
For purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain.
Donald Trump had just been sworn in as the President of the United States. Among the performers invited to grace the stage was none other than Carrie Underwood. Known for country anthems that unite fans across the political spectrum, her appearance seemed like it would be a straightforward patriotic duty. A quick performance, a nod to America's tradition, and then back to the music she does best. Except, that's not at all what happened. Moments after her final note echoed across the National Mall, social media erupted. Fans praised her for honoring the country's peaceful transition of power, while critics lambasted her for standing on the same stage as a divisive political figure. Twitter feeds were flooded with heated exchanges, memes, and impassioned posts. Carrie Underwood Patriot and Our Carrie Underwood Cancelled ended up trending at the same time, perfectly illustrating just how polarized the public was. Offline, that polarization spilled onto daytime talk shows. Everyone from political analysts to entertainment journalists chimed in, dissecting her every move and questioning her motives.
You know the words, help me out here. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
The loudest noise was yet to come, however, and it was about to come from a surprising place: The View. For Carrie, who had always managed to keep her personal life relatively drama-free, this was a rude awakening. And for those who watched from the sidelines, the real question became, was this just another celebrity controversy, or was something bigger brewing? But this was only the tip of the iceberg. Once Sunny Hostin voiced her opinion, the drama escalated to a level no one anticipated. Sunny Hostin, co-host on The View and a former federal prosecutor, is never one to shy away from hot-button issues. She's respected by some for her straightforward style and criticized by others for what they see as a tendency to conflate personal feelings with legal or moral judgments. When the subject of Carrie Underwood's inauguration performance surfaced on The View, Sunny didn't mince words.
I think art is art, and you have a right to perform where you want to perform. I agree with you, Joy. I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
She denounced the performance as unthinkable, implying that Carrie's presence there was a betrayal of American values. She even went so far as to question whether Carrie truly loved her country or if she was just chasing headlines. It's a moral line, Sunny insisted, her tone heavy with disapproval. The reaction among The View's live audience was mixed. Some nodded in agreement, while others squirmed uncomfortably in their seats. Social media wasted no time amplifying her remarks. A fresh wave of tweets pounded the internet, many of them calling out Sunny for what they saw as a harsh and overly simplistic stance. Others applauded her for taking a bold position in a politically charged moment. Even so, the atmosphere had shifted. While Carrie Underwood fans demanded an apology, supporters of The View championed Sunny's courage in saying what she really thought.
I think art is art, and you have a right to perform where you want to perform. I agree with you, Joy. I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
In a matter of days, lines had been drawn in the sand. The drama played out in countless YouTube reaction videos, podcast rants, and tabloid headlines. Yet despite all the uproar, no one expected Carrie Underwood, famously calm in the face of adversity, to react with anything more than a measured statement. However, Carrie had a shock in store for everyone. She was about to take the conflict to court. But if you thought that was dramatic, just wait until you hear how the legal action made headlines around the world. For years, Carrie Underwood had been the poster child of the music industry's stay above the fray philosophy. She rarely addressed rumors, controversies, or the occasional biting remarks tossed her way. Yet, when Sunny Hostin questioned her integrity so publicly, something within the typically reserved star snapped. Instead of releasing a diplomatic statement, Carrie took a step that left Hollywood, and especially daytime TV, absolutely stunned. She sued Sunny Hostin and The View for defamation.
It was the episode of You when you're on The View.
Please welcome my friend, Donald Trump.
You got introduced as our friend Donald Trump.
That's right.
Whoopi Goldberg gives you a big hug and a kiss. Joy Behar gives you a big hug. Barbara Walters gives you a big hug. They all loved you.
Legal documents began circulating online, outlining Carrie's claim that Sunny Hostin had made false, damaging statements about her character and patriotism. The lawsuit also mentioned that Sunny's televised words went beyond the realm of opinion and entered a space that could harm Carrie's brand, her livelihood, and her reputation. Suddenly, this wasn't just water cooler gossip or a fleeting argument on social media. It was a matter for the courts. The media machine went wild. Outlets from TMZ to major newspapers sought comments from Carrie's reps, who were tight-lipped about specifics, but confirmed that the star intended to protect her good name. Meanwhile, The View's press team scrambled to release statements cautioning everyone to remember the show's dedication to open dialogue. The tension was palpable, and viewers were glued to their screens, anticipating a major clash.
If you average out the View hosts, among the dumbest people on television.
Sunny's dumb. Certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. You just need to see how unhinged this kind of thinking is.
Late-night hosts had a field day, poking fun at the idea of America's sweetheart going to legal war. But beneath the comedic jabs, an undercurrent of seriousness emerged. Was Sunny Hostin treading on dangerous ground by framing personal or political critiques as unequivocal fact? If defamation could be proven, not only would The View face hefty legal repercussions, but it could also set a precedent for how talk show hosts handle celebrity controversies in the future. And just when you think the drama couldn't get any more intense, Joe Rogan, America's most vocal podcast host, entered the picture. His roasting of Sunny Hostin turned a legal fight into a full-blown cultural event. If there's one person you can count on to dive headfirst into controversy, it's Joe Rogan. His podcast attracts millions of listeners daily, and he's notorious for tackling subjects most media personalities tiptoe around. The Carrie-Sunny feud was no exception. After reading headlines about Carrie's defamation lawsuit, Rogan invited a guest onto his show, someone well-versed in daytime TV, to dissect the situation. It didn't take long for the conversation to veer into territory that left jaws on the floor.
They get so much hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. It is a rabies-infested hen house.
Rogan called out Sunny Hostin for what he deemed performative outrage. He sarcastically questioned whether she truly believed her own rhetoric or if she was merely drumming up headlines to boost The View's ratings. Labeling the show a sensationalist circus, he scoffed at how the hosts used to roll out the red carpet for Donald Trump, only to later brand him as a national threat. The hypocrisy, Rogan suggested, was too blatant to ignore. Clips of this roast spread like wildfire across social media. Some people laughed alongside Rogan, applauding him for telling it like it is. Others cringed at his bluntness, accusing him of belittling Sunny's point of view. Regardless, the public appetite for his commentary was enormous. He didn't hold back, even calling The View's collective intellect questionable at best, an insult that quickly set Twitter ablaze. For The View, this was a new kind of pressure. While they had weathered plenty of storms before, infighting among hosts, tangles with politicians, and endless controversies, being called out by Rogan to such a massive audience felt like an escalation. It forced many viewers, even longtime fans, to reflect on whether the show had painted itself into a corner by attacking Carrie so fiercely. Suddenly, it wasn't just about Carrie, or even about defamation lawsuits. It was about trust in media, about whether talk shows that claim to represent the voice of the people are ironically shutting down voices they disagree with. And as much as The View tried to stay above the fray, they found themselves squarely in the hot seat. Next up, a look at how ABC and the public at large began reacting to the snowballing crisis. As segments of Joe Rogan's no-holds-barred take went viral, executives at ABC started to feel the sting. Reports swirled that network higher-ups were worried about the unrelenting parade of controversies swirling around The View. While some controversies can boost ratings temporarily, there's a threshold where negative attention does more harm than good. Sunny Hostin's remarks, coupled with the impending lawsuit, seem to be straining that threshold to its breaking point. Behind the scenes, producers were allegedly urging the host to tone down inflammatory rhetoric. Industry insiders whispered that ABC was evaluating all angles and trying to decide how to navigate this potential legal time bomb. The phrase network liability began popping up in entertainment newsletters, as experts debated whether The View might need to issue a formal apology or even reconsider Hostin's contract if things grew more volatile. Meanwhile, public opinion was all over the map. Stand With Carrie hashtags vied with Nosh cancel Sunny Hostin in a fervent online battle. One faction insisted that Sunny was simply practicing free speech, while the other argued that free speech shouldn't cross over into defamatory statements. Carrie Underwood's fanbase, known for loyalty and unwavering support, grew only more vocal, championing her as someone who courageously faced bullying tactics and refused to be silenced. At the same time, some viewers expressed concern about the bigger picture. If talk show pundits can't discuss controversial topics without fear of being sued, wouldn't that stifle open dialogue? Others countered that a lawsuit might finally hold media personalities accountable, preventing them from carelessly hurling serious allegations without proof. As ABC scrambled for solutions, people tuned in more than ever, awaiting the next twist or turn. Each day brought new speculation. Would Sunny address the lawsuit on air? Would Carrie show up for an exclusive interview? Would the network intervene with an emergency segment to diffuse tension? No one knew, but one thing was certain. This wasn't just going to blow over quietly. Up next, a deeper exploration into why Carrie Underwood, typically private and conflict-averse, decided now was the time to stand up and shake the status quo. Carrie Underwood has spent years cultivating a reputation as one of the most relatable and drama-free stars in the entertainment industry. She's navigated interviews and paparazzi with grace, rarely engaging in political debates or public spats. Even when critics questioned her personal beliefs or professional choices, Carrie usually chose the high road, sometimes remaining completely silent, other times offering a gentle clarification. That's exactly why her decision to file a lawsuit against Sunny Hostin and others on The View was so shocking. People wondered, what triggered this departure from her usual diplomacy? Insiders claim that Carrie felt genuinely hurt by Sunny's insinuation that she was somehow unpatriotic or disloyal for singing at an inauguration, a claim that clashed with everything Carrie believed her music stood for. More than that, she reportedly saw the remarks as part of a broader pattern of media figures wielding their platforms recklessly, with little regard for who might be hurt in the crossfire. By launching the defamation suit, Carrie was effectively telling the world that enough was enough. She wasn't doing this just to quiet critics. She was making a statement on behalf of anyone who felt misrepresented or smeared by sensational talk show narratives. Fans reacted with unwavering support, flooding her social media with messages of encouragement and praising her courage for taking a stand. Some even speculated that this could open the door for other celebrities to pursue legal avenues when they believe they've been maligned. As for Carrie herself, she maintained a near radio silence following the initial legal filing. No Twitter rants, no TV interviews to plead her case, just the firm stance that a lawsuit speaks for itself. The strategic minimalism of her approach only heightened public curiosity. Was she confident the law would vindicate her, or was she simply refusing to engage in the traditional media circus? Either way, one thing was crystal clear. This was no longer just idle celebrity drama. It was a clash that raised crucial questions about the media's power and where we draw the line between commentary and defamation. And soon, as more talk show hosts weighed in, that very debate soared into the mainstream. In the wake of Carrie's unprecedented move, a broader conversation erupted. What is the responsibility of talk show hosts, commentators, and influencers to verify what they're saying before they say it? Are they simply reflecting the opinions of many, or are they shaping those opinions, therefore carrying an extra burden of truthfulness? Critics of The View argued that Sunny Hostin's comments, framed as moral fact rather than personal opinion, were irresponsible. Defenders countered that The View has always been about diverse viewpoints and spirited debate. Sometimes feelings run high. This tension has existed in the media for decades, but never has it been so starkly tested in a potential courtroom scenario. Some legal experts pointed out that defamation cases involving public figures are notoriously difficult to win. The plaintiff must prove that statements were false, damaging, and made with actual malice. Yet, in a world of hot takes and viral clips, the boundary between factual reporting and emotional tirades has grown blurrier than ever. Sunny's supporters insisted she was simply sharing a passionate personal viewpoint, not presenting a factual narrative. Others felt that calling Carrie unpatriotic crossed a line into character assassination. On social media, heated debates unfolded in real time. Everyday people, teachers, nurses, truck drivers, college students weighed in, discussing whether the modern talk show format encourages sensationalism at the expense of accuracy. Some insisted that if you choose to comment so forcefully on someone's character, you should be prepared to back it up with evidence or face legal consequences. As the public became increasingly vocal, the ripple effects couldn't be contained to just The View or even ABC. Other talk shows began reevaluating how they framed discussions of celebrities and public figures. Producers quietly reminded their on-air talent to present controversies with more caution and less hyperbole. It was as though Carrie's lawsuit dropped a gauntlet that the entire entertainment world could no longer ignore. But what about Sunny Hostin herself? With the legal threat looming and Rogan's mockery still echoing online, many wondered how she would pick up the pieces, or if she could at all. That question leads us into the final chapter of this saga. With public sentiment in flux and ABC reportedly on edge, all eyes turned to Sunny Hostin. Thus far, she had stuck to cryptic remarks on The View, occasionally hinting that her statements were misunderstood. Some speculated that her silence was part of a legal strategy. Her lawyers might have advised her to tread lightly. Others saw it as stubbornness, refusing to address the specifics of Carrie Underwood's claims. Meanwhile, Carrie Underwood was riding a wave of public support like never before. Fans praised her for standing up to what they perceived as media bullying. Fellow country artists also voiced support, lauding her courage. Though the lawsuit's outcome remains uncertain, the courts can move notoriously slowly. What's undeniable is the boost to Carrie's image as someone willing to fight for her good name. Record sales and streaming numbers for her music spiked as new listeners sought out the artist at the center of the controversy. The entire saga left viewers with a mix of anticipation and dread. Would The View address the lawsuit on air in a major segment or slip it under the rug? Would Sunny choose to publicly apologize or double down on her statements? Could this be the beginning of a new era where celebrities strike back at talk show hosts for careless commentary? For now, the story remains unresolved, with tensions simmering just beneath the surface. Sunny's career hangs in the balance, contingent on how ABC chooses to navigate the aftermath. Carrie Underwood's legal team remains steadfast, emphasizing that their client won't be bullied or misrepresented without consequences. One performance at a presidential inauguration, it seemed so simple, yet it spiraled into a maelstrom of accusations, a defamation lawsuit, and a scalding roast from the world's most famous podcaster. For Carrie Underwood, this controversy sparked a turning point, proving she's willing to step into the legal ring to protect her reputation. For Sunny Hostin, it's a stark reminder that strong opinions can sometimes veer into dangerous territory. And for viewers around the globe, it's a front-row seat to the complexities of free speech, defamation, and media accountability in a hyper-connected era. We're left with questions that extend far beyond The View or the country music stage. Where does candid commentary end and defamation begin? Who holds media figures accountable when lines are crossed? Does standing by your political stance justify dragging someone's character through the mud? Whether you side with Carrie, Sunny, or neither of them at all, the ripples from this conflict continue to spread. One thing's certain, daytime TV and celebrity culture will never be quite the same. Feel free to weigh in with your own thoughts. Is Carrie Underwood justified in filing suit? Did Sunny Hostin deserve the scorching words from Joe Rogan? And most importantly, where do we, as an audience, draw the line between opinion and harm? Share your take in the comments, subscribe for more deep dives into headline-making controversies, and stay tuned! If this saga has taught us anything, it's that what starts as a simple performance can turn into a cultural flashpoint, and the final act may still be waiting just around the corner.